Hello, 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 it's me again, that annoying Sagittarius in your newsfeed. Yes, that is me, the annoying Sagittarius in your newsfeed. How you doing? um, so yeah, just wanted to say hi, and just wanted to say hi for a moment and just chill and um just trying to really quickly to figure out how to save this document I was working on earlier. I've learned that at first I thought there was going to be more of an issue about using like the features for like the document that I had, but apparently I still got the document once I upgraded to Windows 11. Because I was on Windows 10, but once I upgraded to Windows 11, I still was able to keep my Microsoft Word. So I have a Microsoft Word free version for Windows 11 that comes with Microsoft Word. Um, so I've been using Microsoft Word, like the free version that gives you five or 50 gigs of, well, probably like 5 gigs of memory to be able to store as much of your Word documents or your poems or whatever as possible. But I've been trying to locate all my poems and trying to figure out where I posted all my poems and where I've located all my poems and trying to group all my poems together into like my Microsoft Word document. It's been a while since I've had a Microsoft Word document. I mean, I was stupid at one point, and I just I had a problem. I've been through like at least one computer already where I used to have Microsoft Word and stuff on it, and then I smashed the damn thing to hell. So, because it just like burnt out because of like the fan and stuff. I would always leave it on and stuff, which is very similar to this time. I always have my computer on because I'm always mostly on my computer doing something, or I'm reading, or I'm basically just watching TV, which sometimes is now very rare, but um or I put music on while I work on my stuff, but most likely I'm just been trying to really grasp all my poems and stuff together that I've written. But honestly, the last couple of times, the last few years that I've written and stuff, I mean, there was a lot of good stuff that happened, like artistically and stuff, but some of this might not just be art. Some of this might just be trash artistically art, which means what I mean by trash artistically art is a lot of it just seems to be like a lot of poems about toxicity and abuse and sexual abuse and um things that were going through my mind, and some things that make no sense whatsoever, and it's just a bunch of BS. But some stuff is good, and some other stuff just seems like a bunch of BS. But um, whether I have enough for a book or not is a different story. But I know I have so many poems, and I actually have like 3 or 4 or 5 Word documents actually started for Microsoft Word, and I got to keep track of what doesn't get picked for each anthology, because each anthology I try to do and try to put out like my poems and stuff in. You only get one poem picked for each anthology, so there's like that means if you enter three poems, only one of your poems gets picked, so the other two are still available, and they still need to be in your list of poems and things that you can use either for your book or for another book or something like that. So, I mean, I have so much poems and stuff, and I'm looking at stuff. There's good and bad to my work. There's good and bad to my work, but whatever was going through my head in some of these, I think it's just a lot of bullcrap about, toxicity and just the drama I was going through with other individuals in toxic relationships. But some of this is good, and some of my poems like that have actually come out to be really good works of art. But I don't want to make a bunch of poems just about toxic relationships and stuff like that, because who wants to read a poem about toxic relationships and just all negativity? Um, I had a couple of ideas of what I wanted to write a book about, but I'm gonna keep that to myself for now. But I've been looking at different things that I have. I mean, some of the stuff is really good, and some of this stuff can be better, but um, I'm still able to back up all my poems, and I'm trying to back up all my poems before I lose all my work. So that way, if I do lose my Facebook, or I do lose both my Facebooks because of spam, or what they feel is not factual and stuff like that, because I'm posting posts that they feel are not factual, and because I feel like I'm posting too much spam and whatever else, and they end up blocking me and stuff like that because of certain things, and they end up like deleting my pages. At least I'll try to have most of my work, copy and save to a Microsoft Word document. I don't know who's gonna watch this. I don't know who's gonna see this, but I mean, whoever really is still like an artist and stuff, and still has events and things that they want to put out and notify me with. I mean, we gotta find other ways for contact information and to connect with each other too, because technically, if I don't have a Facebook and stuff, because everybody has a Facebook, everybody uses Facebook and has a Facebook, but if I don't end up having a Facebook because of something or something like that, and I can't actually use Facebook to connect with the other events and things that are going on, I need other ways to be able to connect with, to connect with certain individuals and things, especially here in town, so that so I don't lose track of, the artistic things that are still going on, that I could still be a part of, because I don't have Facebook, and I won't be able to see it with Facebook. So, there's like my phone number, there's my email, which my email sometimes does change depending if I get locked out, or it gets, if it gets hijacked. Like my last email got hijacked. I don't even think it really got hijacked. I think my, I think my, I think my worker, I think my worker for my that I was working with at one point in time to get a job and stuff. I think she basically may have deleted it because she thought it was maybe for work or something, but that was actually my personal email and stuff. So I mean, I wasn't able to get back into my other one of my personal emails I originally had, where I was originally talking to certain family and friends and stuff at the time, where I can't even talk to those people anymore because my email has changed, and I don't really have their contact info and stuff like that. So um, but yeah, I need to be able to make sure I can keep in contact with people, and I can keep the contact info and stuff up to date, especially other needs of contact, just in case I happen to not be able to have Facebook. I mean, there's always Instagram. Granted, I still can keep Instagram going, but there's not going to be too many options. I mean, I have a YouTube, I have a Twitter, I have my my Twitter is kind of not safe for work. I will say that my Twitter has not safe for work material on it. So my Twitter is not really professional because it has the non safe for work content on it. And part of that's because a lot of people who I know that are on Twitter, I mean, not a lot of them are happen to be the artists that I connect with on Facebook or some of my other social media platforms, but a lot of the people I connect with on Twitter are like the cosplayers and the models and people of that nature that are more, into cosplay and stuff like that, where they kind of sometimes do things like modeling and not safe for work material and stuff like that. So, me personally, it's good to have a couple of pages on like Facebook and stuff that you hope that are going to be, safe for work, and they're going to be, appropriate for like business and stuff. But I mean, I guess in a way, it's good to have one page or two pages just to have a little bit of unwinding there, where you can post about other things. The only thing is that a lot of people use Twitter and stuff, and then there's other people that get to see all these other things that people post, and that people are posting things like, porn or whatever else on Twitter and stuff. Well, like the whole world's gonna see that, especially if your page is not private. So, um, I haven't posted to Twitter. I mean, I posted for a little while, and I didn't post lately because I was such in a funk and stuff, and I was such kind of frustrated and stuff. I don't even know what I'm doing for dinner. I don't know if I want dinner because I ate at like 3, 4 o'clock. Maybe I ate like 2 o'clock, but I mean, I just ate those two turkey burgers, but I'm at this point where I'm not sure what I want to do for dinner. I mean, I'm drinking a coffee because I just my body wanted coffee, but Just gonna be watching my caffeine intake too, because that's not always good for my mental health if I have too much caffeine. But um, that's why I'm not having an energy drink. I mean, I have several energy drinks in my fridge, but I'm not having one of those because if my mental health is feeling off because of whatever reason, I won't have one of those because I'm afraid of what it might do if I was a little more off balance or etc. because of my situation. I mean, I had just literally just got my medical shot, but yet I'm experiencing my mental health triggers and my things for my things that are triggering me and triggering mental health issues or responses because I'm being triggered in a certain way. I guess Mark Zuckerberg doesn't mean to do it because it's his platform and he has the rules to do what he needs to do because he feels he wants to keep everybody safe and etc. He might not realize what he's doing because there's a lot of people who work under him and stuff, but my art page really does kind of affect my self esteem. When I made my art page and when I started, when I first started it, I was feeling really good about it. But when I started seeing it, blossom as it has today, and how it takes off, and how there's almost like 400 people on my art page and stuff like that. Um, that really kind of blows up my self esteem a lot more because I don't know if people are there for drama. I don't know if people are there for bullshit. They could be, but there's also people there that I know that have liked the page for actually wanting to be there and actually wanting to follow me to see my artwork and keep in contact with my artwork and what I post about my art and what's going on with me. So there's good and bad on the art page. There's people there that go there to spy because it's an open page and it's open and public and anybody can like it, so they go there to openly spy and create drama and or possibly even try to friend other artists and stuff, trying to get into the circle or trying to find out what's going on, just so they know it's gonna just so they know it's gonna try to piss me off because they know they should be letting go, but they're not gonna let go because they know it's gonna piss me off, so they're choosing to do it. But I think a lot of people have chose to let go, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple individuals that still holding on to whatever grudges or gripes they have because humans are humans. There's people out there that can get obsessed with you. If you're a public figure, there's people up there that can get obsessed with you. I've never said it before, but I was at Walmart one day, and there was like these four people that walked by me, and they said, "Hi, Carl," and they were all giddy and stuff, and I don't know, they knew who I was, like they were like fans or something, or like fans of mine or something. Apparently there were some people I that know of me or something here in Torrington or something, but from other resources and stuff like that. But apparently, I think there were people who kind of have connections to something called the Chapel of the Sacred Mirrors or something. I forget what it's called. The Chapel of the Church of the Sacred Mirrors, which is like a spirit. I don't want to say spiritual because I think it's. I don't think it, I think it's kind of like an artistic form of spirituality where it's kind of like art church. It's not like spirituality church or God church. It's art church. In art church, they basically do things where art is the source of all the creation to the divine. So it's something that I'm following. The church of the chapel of the Church of Sacred Mirrors or something like that. But there are a couple of people I that I know of that have I've had a couple of weird incidences where people kind of came where people kind of like approached me in the store and they walked by me and they were really weird, and like this happened like years ago and stuff, back in like 2017 or so. But I haven't had too many weird incidences since then. But people either admire me, or people are either obsessed with me, or people are, just either, hating on me or whatever else. People are people. People are going to do what they need to do. Does half of what people do concern me? No. Not unless they're trying to put me in harm's way, or trying to affect what I'm working on in my life. I don't give a fuck. Do what you got to do. Just leave me out of harm's way and make sure that I'm safe and in good hands. Do what you got to do. sit there and, masturbate to my pictures. I don't give a fuck. But, do what you gotta do. Just don't make me feel like my life's in danger being all creepy in the goddamn store. But I mean, I do. There's some people that know of me and some people that know who I am and stuff, and they're really, they're really inspired by my poems and my artistic talents and stuff like that. Granted, there's a lot of poems and stuff I still have personally that I would like to put out there. I'm still waiting on the last two anthologies that I had entered to hear about whether I got picked or not for them. One, well, of course, again, I tried to enter in Hartford's Lit anthology for 2021, which I think was One Life, One Love, and then I tried to enter in for an anthology for the National Beat Poetry Foundation, which I never heard whether that was going to be up for pre-order or not, so I never heard anything about being able to get a copy of that either. So I've been kind of just in the dark about whether I can ever get those two copies of those books, or whether they're going to actually be available for purchase, so I can actually get a copy if my poems are in them. But I am doing all right though at this point. I'm just chilling at this point. I mean, I've dealt with a lot of disappointments in the last several months, and shit seems to happen. And sometimes it just happens to be out of your control. I mean, I've learned that you signed up to pay the price. You signed up to pay the price of basically signing up for Facebook and doing what you have to do to be a part of Facebook and being part of the community. And because you do that, you're under certain rules and obligations of Meta or Mark Zuckerberg, where you're going to have to suffer. But I'm not going to make that of this whole thing about that. I am an artist. I am a public figure. I mean, I've had like really questions of, I've had questions of just different things. But between Mark Zuckerberg trying to almost possibly delete my Facebook page, and then there's a bunch of people that I know who are a lot of haters in my mental health program, who don't even want me to have an art page or be a public figure because they don't like who I am, or they don't feel like they like my personality, or they have some type of gripe with me, whatever. There's a lot of people who don't think that I should even have an art page or be where I'm at with like all the privileges I've had. I mean, I've had a lot of privileges. I mean, I don't make a lot of money. I mean, people who know me know that I don't make a lot of money. I technically, I'm not going to say where I live, but I will say that I'm actually considered low income. I don't make crap. I mean, I'm an artist basically on low income. I mean, I barely make anything. I have to basically just get the extra help just to get myself by half the time. So but what I can sell, I can sell. That's great. I mean, I have had supporters, I've had fans, I've had people come to me and say, I would like to buy a piece of your work. I love your work. I love this piece. I love what you do. I'm like, well, thank you. If you want to buy a piece, this is how much it is. If you want it, yeah, take it. You make me an offer. I mean, I'm all good for it. But I'm just at this point though. It's just like, people. I know people. Even though you don't talk to people, there's people still probably doing shady shit behind closed doors because they just don't give a fuck about you. And when people say they don't give a fuck, or they don't give a fuck about Carl Urso, I mean, I tend to believe it, and I tend to believe that in a couple different ways. Yeah, you really don't give a fuck, and yeah, you might not give a fuck about how you respond or what you do, and to really kind of ruin opportunities and crap for me because you just simply just don't give a fuck. I mean, there's two ways to look at when people say I just don't give a fuck about Carl Urso. There's two ways to look at that. You do not give a fuck and just like you just don't care, or do you actually don't care to the point you're gonna like completely kind of try to barge into my life and create some drama, because there's people have done that too. But I'm just at this point where I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling too a little bit here about some stuff. I'm not even sure what I'm talking about anymore at this point, but I'm all right though. Gotta change my shirt. My shirt has all mustard and stuff on it from before. I gotta actually change my shirt and probably take a shower, but I don't know if I'm gonna put the TV on or not. I always wanted to put a CD on, but it's what is it, 7 o'clock? It might be, it might be, it might be a good time enough, but I came to realize that there's been a lot of complaints about the people who live above me. The people who live above me. There's been a lot of complaints about. So that's pretty much where things are at right now, where people are kind of really upset with, the noise complaints and like some disturbances and stuff that people had with other neighbors and stuff in the building, and that the people who live above me and stuff have been, causing. I mean, I was on the phone in an important conference and stuff one day, an important meeting and stuff, and people were just dropping stuff, being really noisy and loud upstairs, and to the point that I was like, "What the fuck's going on up there?" I was like, "What the fuck? I'm trying to have like my therapy session, and you're over there hopping and hollering like at the top of the moon." And I'm like, "Well, can I have my fucking therapy session in peace and actually talk in peace without you?" But and I told my counselor that. I told my counselor that somebody's being really loud and annoying. So apparently noise travels in this place. But I'm at this point where I'm just kind of sitting to myself, and I'm just like, okay, you know. Try to grow my beard back. It doesn't want to grow in right here and right here. It's starting to, but it's not fully still growing in right here and right here. It still might take a couple more shaves. I mean, it's starting to grow in right here and right here a little bit, but not fully in enough to like connect the beard. Because I want a beard. I really do want a beard because I want to I want to look older, and I want to be able to have a full grown beard without having to really kind of just cut it all off. I want to be able to have it like, there. Um, that's one of the privileges I wanted of being older. I wanted to be able to have like full grown in facial hair, but some people have said to me that's never gonna grow in right there and right there. You're always gonna have to shave. That's never gonna grow in. But little do they know, it's actually starting to grow in piece by piece a little bit more. With each passing shave and as I get older. So, um, but I'm doing all right though. I'm just chilling at this point. There's not much going on. I mean, it's Friday, so it's the weekend. I was just talking to the security guard downstairs, and he was showing me the paper, and he said, "Well, it's supposed to be sunny. It's supposed to rain and get cold and rainy and stuff, but then it's supposed to warm up and get really sunny and stuff for the weekend and stuff, and people are gonna be very happy and stuff according to the paper." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." Because last thing I heard from the news and stuff on Facebook is that it was supposed to get really, it was supposed to get really windy and cold and bad out. So, but it is what it is. I'm good. I mean, I can still post at this point. I'm really fearful though about what I do post, because any wrong move of unfactual, content or content that's considered spam, which is really out of my control and out of my say. I mean, I can't control that or say that, but I've had like a couple violations for both pages. I mean, I probably had like 5 or 4 violations for my art page and 5 or 4 violations for my personal page. But because of that, Mark Zuckerberg says enough's enough. I'm going to block you for 90. I'm going to at least restrict you for 90 days, where your page is not going to be seen. Your advertisements for your page are not going to be seen. You're not going to have advertisements. You're not going to be able to have people see your advertisements to know about your page. And basically my whole to get more people drawn into me as an artist is basically kind of being blocked, because there's a misconception of me supposedly Facebook thinks I knowingly posted spam or unfactual content. I mean, I need to be able to. I mean, there's been times where Facebook's been really good to me on that. Facebook's actually said to me that don't post this. This has been, said by the fact checkers and stuff that this is actually proven to be false and etc. So I would think twice about posting this. So I didn't post the posts. But there was a couple posts that I think went by even Facebook or something. But because I shared them or something, Facebook wants to be mean up my ass instead of the people who actually shared the post. Like I'm the one who shared, like I'm the original original person who shared the unfactual shit. So, there's a lot of conspiracy crap going through my page as well. I mean, I see a lot of conspiracy crap when I'm a little bit like nerve-wracked about the conspiracy crap that I see coming through my page because, a lot of that stuff some people say is unfactual and stuff like that. I mean, I started sharing a little bit of it, and I think that was part of my mistake as well because I'm wondering if some of those posts might have got me blocked or possibly might get me blocked in the future. But there were a couple conspiracy posts or something that somebody posted, and I'm not sure where necessarily they're coming from. I mean, I know somebody who is a conspiracy theorist, but for me personally, I'm open to hearing what he has to say, but I'm not necessarily totally part of that life. I mean, I hear different things. I mean, there's some things about it that I can still partake in, like other world, from a spiritual perspective, not necessarily from just a conspiratorial perspective, but a spiritual perspective. You can be open to possibly the belief of aliens. You can always be open to the belief of aliens or another higher power or something like that, where it doesn't necessarily have to be conspiratorial. It can be more of a spiritual, type of thing without having to really say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory because, this, and this, obviously it's not proven yet that there's aliens out there. I mean, there's some people say it is being proven, some people say it's not. So, but that's a different story in itself. But for me personally, I'm trying to, keep my head above water and stuff like that. But and it's just I'm really concerned about what I post and what I have to say, because there was times I was talking about something about a movement that has grown and has gotten a lot of attention and stuff for BLM, because BLM has, if you know what BLM stands for, has gotten a lot of movement and attention. And at one point I was talking about my a shirt that I was wearing, and somebody had, and I was talking about, my interactions with somebody else, and it was taken the wrong way because my interactions with somebody else, I wrote about it, and because of whatever I wrote about, it was taken the wrong way, and it was taken out of context and really wrong. Granted, I was granted, an opportunity to still have my Facebook, but I've had a couple of Facebook friends that were cosplayers and stuff come in with their revealing sexual, whatever. I'm not. I want to say I can't say they were all sexual posts. One looked like an art post. One thing I actually shared looked like an art post. They said, Facebook said it was sexual. For me, it would look like an art post. I mean, it looked like just like a model, or like one of those sketch models that people would sketch, and then you would put animation to, it would just be walking down the street or something. And Facebook said, oh, that's actually sexual or whatever that is, and that's not appropriate, and because you shared it from this person, you're going to get banned. So it's but no, I mean, I had a couple, but then again, I've had some personal things also slip from my phone. I'm not going to tell you necessarily what I always keep on my phone, but there's some things on my phone that I probably should do some stuff with, and then maybe delete them. But I do have some I might have some stuff on my phone, but but regardless, people don't need to know certain things. People don't even really need to know that. But regardless, that sometimes I've posted from my phone, and certain things got slipped into my Facebook feed, and I've gotten blocked for that, which in the way it should happen like that. There's been times where I posted stuff to my Instagram feed too, and then my Instagram feed would automatically post to my Facebook feed without my permission and stuff, and it would post things right to my Facebook feed, and then it would post it right into the public, and it was like, well, here you go. You got to suffer the consequences. You got banned or blocked because you had something in your feed that was actually inappropriate or something like that. So a couple times there were things that were my fault. a couple other times I think things were out of proportion, etc. with Facebook, but Mark Zuckerberg doesn't really care, and he really doesn't give a fuck. He's playing God and the commander of his page. I'm trying to use this platform to make sure I can do a good job being an artist and being in charge of my life and stuff like that. And if he can't respect another artist trying to build a business or trying to build some type of platform where he can show his work and show his creations and show what he has to show to the world and be able to express, especially on somebody who's actually considered, who should be or is considered on disability because of his mental health, So, and because of that, I don't know. I mean, the funny thing is, Mark Zuckerberg basically also said to me too that, he also said to me too that, he will, if this page has anything to do with people who are disabled or people who have a disability or etc. It has to be run by somebody with a disability or etc. In order for it to be valid, which it's valid for me because I have a mental health disability, but um whether he believes that or not, I don't know, because I think Facebook kind of sees some stuff and then they believe what they want to believe without really knowing the facts. I mean, don't believe everything that gets posted to Facebook, or don't believe everything that you don't seem to think you know. I mean, sometimes people seem to think they know one thing or the actual facts, and there's a lot of things possibly not even being said. So, but no, I mean, people got to be more lenient on Facebook, but besides trying to burn their followers bridges and stuff, and burn their followers businesses and stuff, because of some things that really I really thought spam and unfactual Facebook posts is a Facebook issue. It was never supposed to be an issue for other pages and stuff. It should have been, and if that was the case, that people shared stuff and they unknowingly shared stuff, then great. I mean, obviously, I think I was already let off the hook a couple times, and they said, well, if you keep sharing, you're going to get blocked, or we're going to restrict you. But apparently, there was still a lot of, there was still at least a few things in my Facebook feed that somebody had posted, and because I shared them, that they seemed artistic. Probably seemed artistic or whatever else, so I shared them. And because I shared them and stuff like that, I ended up paying the penalty because it didn't seem factual, or it seemed like spam or whatever. So I'm now restricted for 30 days as far as some of my features on both my pages. A lot of my stuff actually is getting posted to the bottom of my page, or the bottom of the timeline, or something like that. The bottom of the timeline or something like that, because that's what Facebook is doing now, because they don't want they don't want my stuff being seen or something, because it's kind of like a punishment because I supposedly broke protocol or rules for Meta or Facebook because of whatever else. But one cool thing I want to talk about, though, is I actually did post a cool video for Sagittarius. If you really, I felt it was the truth. Whoever this, I know this one girl. Her name was Ashley something, but she's an astrologer or something down in Canada or something. She came out with a book, which is still on my wish list, but she does these astrology videos of like compatibility and trying to talk about the signs compatibility with each sign, and getting together and talking about different things, where she just happened to sit down with one of her bestest of friends, who was a Sagittarius, for 2 hours, and she basically sat down and talked to her, and that Sagittarius spoke some truth about some Sagittariuses. If you want to get to know a Sagittarius, listen, should watch that video, because she talked about how we feel as Sagittariuses. I'm still in a position of dealing with some of the things of my growth and my expansion that she's already dealt with. But, still, she talked about the truth about Sagittarius. If you want to know the truth, it's right there in your face. It's right there in that video. But I'm a Sagittarius, so, but, anyways, I am going to get offline, though, because I don't know how long I've been on here, and I want to be able to post this to Instagram, but I might have been on here for 45 minutes or so already. I might put some music on or something. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I called my mom earlier. She's still kind of bitching because nobody's paid her money and stuff. But I had to tell my mom, look, mom, I went to the bank today and I can't even get into the bank to see a teller for anything else right now because all the tellers basically have been out for a week. And I know they've been out for a week because my worker said he's been trying to go to the bank earlier on in the week, and they were closed as well. And then by the time we went up this morning, they were still closed with the sign on the door saying they were closed. So, um, that's that. But my mom's kind of complaining to me because she wanted to sell some hats and some scarves to a friend, and the friend didn't want to pay her. And then my cousin was going to send my mom some money and stuff, and then my cousin put the wrong address of her old apartment across the way on the card and stuff, and um who knows? Who knows if the card got stolen or if the card got opened and stolen and then the money got, squandered and stuff like that, or who knows if the card actually ended up, across the way to the neighbors across the way. But um, you know, it is what it is at this point. My mom was supposed to be sent like almost $300. I mean, this is why the mail, is kind of sketchy. But my mom was said she was supposed to be sent almost over $300, and she didn't get it. So, um, granted, I mean, I'm hoping we still get the $95 extra for people who are, kind of in need and on low income and kind of are struggling with financial stuff and stuff like that. I'm still hoping we are still going to get, our extra $95 for the month, because we've been getting extra $95 since almost the summertime. We've been getting an extra 95, not like $95 in actual cash, but actual money to use for food. We haven't been actually getting cash. I mean, I haven't had cash since the third stimulus check. The third stimulus check too came and went. I probably could have utilized that time and that effort better with the third stimulus check, but I may not get another. I may not get this third stimulus check back, and I may not get another. So, and I may not get another opportunity to ever have money like that again in my account. So I'm kind of screwed right now. But, well, if they do give another stimulus check or something like that, I'll be really excited. But right now, everything's looking like, for the people they feel that need it, like, oh, one more child tax credit, one more this, one more that. But we're not necessarily giving to people who necessarily need to, who are on low income, because a lot of low income Americans have been trying to vouch for another stimulus check and stuff because they feel it's very helpful to them and their lives and how they live, because apparently people who are like senators and stuff pretty much don't care or don't always realize what it means to live on low income America, and low income America and try to make ends meet. Sometimes they're really ignorant and blind to the eye of what's going on with the people and the people who are voting, supposed to be voting for them. So, I tell you one thing, I'm still kind of mad at the Democrats. I'm still mad at the Democrats, and I'm still mad at the Republicans. But so I'm not kind of. I mean, they're getting along now. They're getting along now, and hopefully they get along and they can make the bills pass and make everything meet and stuff like that. I don't know what happened to the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling was supposed to be yesterday. I don't know if it passed or failed. If it failed, I really don't want to know. I almost don't want to know if it even passed, because yeah, I'll be in a position of either or, and I don't want to know that. But I'm just at this point where I'm just kind of like thinking to myself, like, I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't know, but I am. I'm looking. I'm looking to see if I can, get some stuff in order. I mean, I would use some of the extra money for that I would get. I would use some of it for. I mean, if I'm good on what I have, I mean, I might use some of the extra money for just to try to get myself some stuff for the holidays. Try to get myself like I'm not even gonna do a giant turkey this year. I don't want another turkey. I don't want another turkey for the rest of this year, because after Thanksgiving and after how I was feeling on Thanksgiving with that turkey, and I had to throw the rest of it out, I am not happy with the turkey. I had a turkey burgers, which are a little different, but still, the actual turkey, I was ready. It was coming. It was like basically coming back up. It was so awful, um, so but no, I don't want another turkey, but I do want to be able to get maybe a little something smaller. If I can get something smaller, because it's just me. It's just me. What am I going to do with all that food? It's like I feel like I wasted the turkey in a way, too, because I had all that food, and it's like, I don't want to like chuck the turkey, and I don't want to chuck the turkey and get really, it was a pain to really cook that and stuff, and I almost felt like it was smoking or burning a lot too. So, I want to be able to, make sure I can, get my stuff together. But, I am going to get offline now, though. I want to get more coffee, or I want to get something to drink. Really should put some Powerades in my fridge, because those are always good to drink. Especially when you're feeling kind of dehydrated and stuff. Those kind of fuel you back up with electrolytes and stuff. But, anyways,